a number of business people in this country, they will tell you it's extremely hard to be counted as an investor in this country because, according to them, preference tends to be given to foreigners or whites for that matter. Now, this narrative is being disputed by Uganda Investment Authority. According to UIA, if you're able to mobilize resources to a tune of 50,000 US dollars or roughly 200 million Uganda shillings, you can actually be eligible to apply for an investor's license and get it. Now, we find out details on how this is done and the steps to take in this segment.
We recently launched what we call transition of traders to manufacturers here in Uganda Investment Authority, particularly from the Chikubo traders. They came together and we had a meeting with them recently, and my team, through our domestic investment division, is working to support them to transition. We look at it as a way of, the power of the example is more important. What they see, they can. So we're going to support them to, slowly move to our industrial parks because they know the markets. These people know when they go to import products to our country, they import them for the markets that they know. So the market research and the products, they know it. They even know the products that they need to penetrate these markets. So we are trying to have a conversation with them and handhold them to say, why don't you produce these products here using raw materials for the market that you know, so that they have that whole journey. And I believe once that is done, their fellow traders, their fellow merchandisers will look at that and say, but this is possible. So we feel like let's handhold and work with them throughout that process. My team next week, for example, on Tuesday, will be in Chikubo with them to say, this is how you get an investment license. This business plan for your Nigina that you always import, we can help you make that business plan. We have industrial park land. We shall now also allocate land for you in the industrial park so that we hold you throughout that journey. And when I was having a discussion with them, I would say it is very difficult now for me to tell you the market access. You know the market. You really have been in this trading for how many years? You know how these products move. So we shall work with you on make sure you make the products in our country. And the support is already enshrined in most of our laws here. One, we have to support you to get the investment license, which is it's important to also note that this investment license is free. And because remember, these are domestic investors, our local investors. To be able to benefit, to get an investment license, you only need the equivalent of 50,000 US dollars. For an international investor, they need the equivalent of 250,000. So a local investor only needs less than 200 million to be able to get our investment license. And we are not saying have the 200 million in the account locked. These are traders. You have a person in Chikubo, if you go every day, the money is trading even $1 million. We don't expect the money to stay in, it should be working. So you just show us the capacity to mobilize this money, we'll give you the license. What does this license entitle you to? The free land in the industrial park. Just $50,000 showing that you can move it in your account. We help you the free land industrial park. We're talking about the incentives. Agricultural value addition, 10-year tax holiday. This plant and machinery, they are going to set up factories. You know you can, that plant and machinery is tax-free. Remember, you are not saying lock money in your account, just show us you can mobilize this amount of money. You benefit from these incentives that people thought were only for international investors. They are yours, and at even a lower threshold to benefit. You do a lot of research and training, because remember now industrialization, you're going to have the training element. Research and training, those are tax deductible. Please keep the records. You are going to have 500 people you're employing in a factory. They don't just come without training. You have to train them to manage your machinery. People should, keep those records. So when URA comes to tax you, this is tax deductible. So the tax, they'll reduce it by this amount. So those are things now we will say, we sit with you, keep these records, we go with you to URA to support you to get that. So for example now, you will need international workers. Because if you're setting up a factory, some of these machines are not here. For the initial period of training, how to use these machines, you need international labor to come and support you here. You see where Uganda is, we're in a very perfect position. This is the friendliest country in the region. People are in Chikovo, but people are coming from Congo to Chikovo to buy products from them. People are coming from South Sudan to Chikovo to buy products from them. So really, it seems it's quite safe for trading. Yeah? So really, the market is there. The person is making money, so he's not really thinking about taking another risk. And yet they import from somewhere else. So I think one of the issues is it has been very comfortable trading. But trading is not very sustainable going forward. And what we need to do is give them that comfort. You can even make much more money if you go throughout the whole value chain and produce from here. It will be cheaper because you're not dealing with the imports and all that. But the whole markets around the region, we say, but this is produced in Uganda. Remember, we are part of East African community. 300 million people, quota-free and tariff-free. So it is produced here. It will be even cheaper for the trader in Congo to buy from here because they are a fellow East African community citizen. So it will be quota-free and tariff-free access for products produced here. So their profits will become even higher. Remember, Uganda in Africa is rated as the third most profitable country. Interesting. Yes, after Ethiopia, Egypt. This is by Oxford Economics. Okay. Third most profitable. There is money being made in this country. We are saying that now, if we become a production, industrialization hub in the region, there is much more money to be made. So that's why government, for example, now is putting money in Uganda Development Bank, for example, to support this transition. I'm sure it is there in UDB. There are different initiatives for government so that people can be able to access that. And that is really to bring the cost of money down.
Cyber attacks take the top slot as the biggest risk to businesses, especially those sitting within the medium to large companies categories in Uganda today. This is according to a report published by Allianz Commercial, a subsidiary of Allianz Group, which recently acquired a controlling stake in Jubilee General Insurance business. The attacks, which include incidents such as ransomware attacks, data breaches and IT disruptions, have seen corporate entities and public agencies lose billions to take fraudster hits. For instance, in 2022, 19.2 billion shillings was stolen in cybercrime in Uganda. Barring and covering the risks of such attack is now being looked at keenly by the insurance industry.
As the world evolves into a more IT progressive universe, potential threats, cyber threats, loss of data privacy, banks being hit and money leaving the banking system, the insurance environment has a way of providing protection for that kind of a potential loss, where cyber attacks are a potential incident that can hit a business and crumple or grind the business to a halt.
This is coming at a time when the insurance industry is still pushing for more innovations to grow penetration and more relevance to the business operators. Besides the financial losses, another major cost that happens during cyber attacks on an organization is the service disruptions. These escalate the cost as the attacks may cause internet or utility outages, leak or deletion of sensitive data and information compromise, or cause physical destruction. These are also areas that the industry is keenly looking at.
Up and running. It does protect for the loss of data. It does protect for any eventual lawsuits that may be there. It does protect and enable you recover from the downtime, because we've got cyber security support teams that are able to come in the picture and assist you get back up and running sooner than if you did not have that kind of a protection alone.
One of the unintended outcomes of the COVID-19 pandemic is the jump in the usage of the internet and generally online platforms for transactions. But as this happened, so was the growth in cyber-related crimes, and Uganda was not spared. Like they say, there is an opportunity in every problem. The insurance industry seems to have spotted one here.